At 8:29 in the morning, a gray Dodge Challenger arrives in the parking lot of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, 39 miles outside of the state's capital, Salt Lake City. The Challenger's driver is a soon-to-be assassin, here to disrupt an American Comeback Tour Prove Me Wrong event being held at the university. Both the organization and the event are led by Charlie Kirk. At 11:52, the assassin is captured on film here, ascending the stairwell of the university's Loss Center. The debate stage and tent are set up in the university's courtyard in the bottom and center of the grandstands here. At 12:05, a crowd of over 3,000 people is gathered in and surrounding the courtyard. They begin to cheer for Charlie Kirk. And by 12:09, Kirk appears and starts throwing out hats to the crowd. Kirk then takes his seat and starts to engage the audience with questions and debate for a little over 20 minutes.
All right, we're gonna get started, everybody. You know how it works, question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from Y-Refi, that was great. Really appreciate it, and we're gonna be here for a couple hours.
At 12:22, the shooter lays prone and sets up his rifle to take aim at Charlie Kirk from atop the roof. At 12:23, a single shot rings out. The bullet strikes Charlie Kirk in the neck, and all of the blood in his head falls out of the bullet hole onto the pavement. The shooter hit his target from about 150 yards away, and immediately panic ensues and the crowd disperses. The shooter dashes north across the rooftop of the Loss building, and is spotted at 12:24 jumping onto the ground with what appears to be his weapon in front of parking lot K. He crosses Campus Drive and enters a residential neighborhood. Simultaneously, Kirk miraculously still has a pulse, and 6 men carry him into an SUV to be transported to Timpanogos Regional Hospital, 2.3 miles away. At 12:52, authorities announce that they have the suspect in custody, 71-year-old George Zinn. Zinn is not the killer, but he is quoted by police officers who arrested him as having confessed to shooting Kirk. Zinn has a history of just under 24 arrests, including some charges of obstructing the police, which in this instance he was again charged for. At 2:22, the Orem police release Zinn and announce that the shooter is still at large. At 2:40, President Trump announces that Charlie Kirk has passed away. The manhunt continues. Utah Governor Spencer Cox announces at 4 o'clock that a second person of interest is in custody and being questioned. This statement is echoed 21 minutes later by FBI Director Kash Patel on social media. But by 5:59, he announces that again, this is not the shooter. At 7:19 in the morning the following day, a press conference is held announcing that the murder weapon had been found, a Mauser Model 98 bolt-action rifle. It was discovered wrapped in a towel. At 9:56 in the morning, the authorities release the shooter's images to the public and seek help in identifying the man. At 10:44, the FBI affirms this and says that a reward of up to $100,000 will be given out to any information that helps lead to the shooter's arrest. Upon seeing these photographs, the shooter's father recognizes the person of interest as his son, who then promptly contacts a U.S. Marshal who is a friend of the family. The Marshal advises the father to remain where they are and relays this information to the FBI. At 10 p.m., Tyler Robinson is arrested. He would later be confirmed by the authorities to be the shooter. At 6:03 in the morning on September 12th, President Trump makes an appearance on Fox and Friends to announce the following.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him. In custody.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, Utah Governor Spencer Cox announces that Tyler Robinson is in custody and releases these mugshots to the public. As of today, September 17th, Tyler Robinson has been charged with aggravated murder, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, and 3 other minor charges. Prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty for Robinson, and Robinson has resisted full cooperation with the authorities. There are several questionable details about the official narrative, which leave room for further speculation about motive and further accomplices. Robinson's case is set for September 29th. Until then, or until further details are released, I hope that this video serves as a benchmark to what had happened in the timeline of events, at least according to the official narrative.